Right.
All right.
Yeah.
We
Now
ready?
snoring. I mean, no, Jessiie, not snoring. It's time to wake up.
Right.
Sorry, I'm awake. I'm here.
Yeah, you're both awake. Slack's thrown us a curveball because of life circumstances. We were recording on the wrong day at the wrong time. What could possibly go wrong? We've got no
At
news.
least we're all here this time. I mean, at least there was reminders. The person who didn't even show up last week that we didn't hear from at least messaged us this morning. It's like, are we doing this today? You know, apparently Wednesday seems to work for them. You know, I'm just putting that out there this morning.
Just not the rest of the world. Jeez.
No, this time works always for me. It's much easier for me to stay awake than it is for me to wake up. So,
okay.
Just saying.
We'll remember that in future. Forget to meet
Yeah, at 4 a.m. Yeah, why not? Yeah, this sounds like a perfect time to get up and record a podcast in the morning. I'm fine with that.
Right. Okay. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Minecraft Update podcast. We are on episode 17. I am, of course, joined today by Mr. Lizard and Mrs. B. And today we've got a whole host of exciting news. No, we don't have any news hardly at all because we're recording on the wrong day. We'd have loads of news tomorrow. I don't even think we will have loads of news tomorrow. I've got a feeling that this week's going to be very quiet in terms of snapshots and stuff, but I may well be wrong. Probably am wrong. Normally am.
No, you're such the right guy. Right?
I don't know. Maybe. Oh, geez. Right. Anyway, right. So we better sort of, I guess, talk about some other things then, haven't we? Such as, Jessiie, what have you been up to this week? We didn't hear from you last week. Where were you? What were you doing? And did you miss us?
I did miss you. I woke up that day and I was gutted. I felt so bad. I woke up and I was like, oh, I blinked because I just want to say, I very, very vividly remember you saying you didn't know if you were going to be able to do last week's podcast because your son was there. So I leached onto that and I was like, okay, I haven't heard anything. There were no reminders at all.
Blaming it all on me.
So I was like, okay, we're just skipping this week. I should have messaged, but I didn't. Wow. And yeah, turns out, nope, I slept in and missed it. And I felt so guilty. However, I want to put it out there. It was the week from hell that just kept on giving. It was best that I wasn't there, I'm sure, because my weeks have been just crazy on top of crazy. But I'm here today and I'm trying to be in a better mood. So, hi, guys.
Now smiling. Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, exactly.
Do you know, it's funny, isn't it? That I can't remember the last week we had this week where it was all, hey, I've done this and it was really good news. No offense to you two, and I'm not trying to say that you're moaning all the time, geez, but you two have been through through all of the bad stuff lately. So Slack's obviously, well, we know everything about Slack. So now you've got it bad, Jessiie. Do you want to explain what's going on, or would you rather keep it to yourself for now?
No, I will say, I mentioned it on my last live stream too. I have been having a lot of house troubles. One of my pipes burst in my bedroom and we had issues with the landlord. They came, they patched it up, and then proceeded to let me know that the big chunk of flooring that they had torn up in my room was going to have to get fixed, but they couldn't fix it right away because they had to actually replace the pipes, and they were going to let me know as soon as they could do that, right? I was like, sure, that's fine. They say, all right, it's going to get done Monday. Monday comes and goes. I hear zero from them. Not a word, not a peep, not a nothing. And I was like, okay, things happen. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I have heard nothing from them at all. And I just have a big old hole in my floor where there is mold now growing. So I've had to spray it with bleach and stuff, so I don't have mold just growing in my house. But nothing has gotten done. They won't get back to me. They won't message. And I'm so frustrated. And because of all of the stress that now that is putting on me, I have been having really bad gallbladder flare-ups, and I've just been in pain, and it has been miserable, and it has led to doctor's appointments and doctor's offices and bills. So I have been a stressed Jessiie B this past 2 weeks for sure.
Oof. That's the best word I got to describe it. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
You know, there are advantages to having a hole in your bedroom, though. If you want to, look at the bright side, you've got an extra space to put things in, storage you didn't realise you had for stuff that you don't mind getting molding.
But it was molding.
Well, you might like certain things to get covered in mold. Maybe you could hide people's stuff in there that you don't like. Mm-hmm. And then they have to come and find it. You could, that's a way you could earn money. You could be like, okay, which family member don't I like? Okay, I don't like my grandmother on my so-and-so side. I'm going to go visit her, take a load of her stuff home with us, and then invite her to come round and find it, but she's got to pay for the experience. And then you just leave it all in the hole.
Like amazing. A hide and seek.
Yeah.
I mean,
can I go hide and seek stuff in your base like that? I mean, what?
It's all your moldy stuff, Grandma. That'll be $20. Thanks.
Wow.
Here you go. You see?
Oh, the gallbladder. I feel you on that. Oh man, I ended up in the hospital a few years back on that one. Ooh, that's no fun.
It's a pain in the tuchus, and
it's a pain in the gallbladder.
It is.
Oh, wow.
And they keep telling me, you should remove it, Jessiie. You should remove the gallbladder.
They keep telling you should remove it.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, they're like, reach in there because the cost is going to be so expensive. You might as well just rip it out yourself. That's basically what they're saying. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's an expensive surgery. Mine was upwards of, I think it was like $30,000 to have my gallbladder removed.
Jeez.
And my insurance won't cover it because it's not life-threatening.
Yeah,
so,
it's
out of pocket.
I sat at home till I thought I was dying and thought I had kidney stones and went to the hospital and they're like, no, it's dead. It's been dead for a while now. We need to go in and remove that. That's how my insurance covered mine. Welcome to America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Moving on. Sorry, Jessiie. Slack. What have you been up to this week?
Slack's good. Slack's tired, but good. See, I've spent, like I was telling you before, but I haven't told the people out there. Remember that day where we recorded for like 12 and a half hours and we felt like dying, and then we didn't have to edit nothing for like a month.
Yeah.
But that one day drained us to the point where we couldn't crawl out of bed the next week. Yeah, I've done that for like 5 days in a row now, because by the time this podcast goes out, Jen's going to finally be over here, at least for the first visit. That's why we're recording the podcast early, because I'm not going to be available tomorrow. I'm going to be going somewhere to pick someone up from an airport. So I'm excited. I'm really ahead on content. I've got to spend as soon as we're done here with this, I've got to record all day again today. I'm really trying to get so far ahead that while she's over for a couple weeks, I don't have to record. Of course, I still gonna have to stream and still do all the other things, but we're just trying to get ahead on content. That way we can just spend our time together. We can go outside, go out in nature, go for walks and go to parks and go watch movies and things outside of just the house. It's going to be weird. I haven't been outside seriously. And
I haven't been outside.
Years.
Jeez.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited for you guys.
I am too. I am very excited about that. But other than that, it's just grind away. But I've been having fun. I mean, the channel growth has been amazing here lately. Like, what was it last week? It hit 10,000. Now I've hit 10,200. Like, it used to take me a month to get 200 subs, and now I got it in a week.
Wow. That's good.
And I swear YouTube feels so different. It's like every video. I actually went through last night looking at all the analytics. Since I've hit 10,000, every video at the 16-hour mark gets a push of like 50,000 to 100,000 impressions.
Wow.
It's dead on every time at the 16-hour mark. Matter of fact, if it does it again today, the video I dropped yesterday should start getting a push right now. It's been so weird.
Have you considered dropping your videos at the 16-hour mark? Maybe that's just when your audience is awake.
No, that's not how it works.
Well, I don't get anything like this. I never have Tiz has been spamming like our TB Discord with all of he's had the similar thing going on, not the same timescale, but his videos all of a sudden this huge spike. I've never seen anything like that ever.
Mine have been going right at the 16-hour mark here. Let me show you this last week's video. Okay, I'm just grabbing my most recent one before this. Now, of course, the people
We're
on the
on a big
podcast can't
tangent
see
that's
this.
going to be completely useless for the podcast here, Slack, because they can't see it.
Okay, well, there's an example of what's been happening.
Jeez.
How do you explain that?
Yeah, well, exactly. I would say, well, everyone was asleep until until then, and then they woke up. Jeez, I don't understand. That's
I don't
amazing.
either.
Well, that's really good news that your channel is growing, and obviously all of this time and effort that you're putting into it is paying off for you. However, Slack, don't overdo it and end up back in the hospital again. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm good. I'm good. This time, I actually went through a burnout right after I got out of the hospital. I think everybody caught on to that, but I stayed consistent on YouTube. My stream suffered, but I stayed consistent on YouTube. So,
yeah,
YouTube's that long haul. So
it is.
Keeping on that.
Spike looks great.
It's every video I drop. Every video.
That's just amazing. It would help if I had unmuted my mic when I was like saying that before, but one of those days.
Wow. Let's go. It started off good today. Hey, everybody, look at this thing I've just shared in our private Discord. They would talk about that. And Jessie's there talking in the background, not getting any of it. Why is everyone ignoring me? Life's just getting worse and worse. The floorboards are gone, the landlord's rubbish. I had to go to the doctors, and now everyone's ignoring me. I'm sick of this.
Well, should we talk about your excellent morning and week?
No.
Good sir.
Yeah.
My week has been fantastic. It's been the best week I've had in ages. No, on all seriousness, I've had a really nice week. It was the actual week that Oliver was off school. And we got to do loads of stuff together, which was amazing. We went to see Sonic 2. We did some other stuff. We played lots of games. We've recorded some Minecraft videos that I doubt will ever actually go on the internet because they're just me and him playing Build Swap, and he just likes to record stuff. So it's been really nice. I put out a video I was trying to make content, but it was really difficult. So I was supposed to work away on Thursday doing some video work with cameras and stuff rather than recording Minecraft. But I didn't have to go in the end. So I decided to spend the day recording a video for the Minecraft 1.19 beta update, which has performed ridiculously well on my channel. So I'm really happy with that. No weird spikes like your Slag, but it's been consistently good. So that's nice. And then I ended up with him for a few extra days because his mum's actually really ill. Speaking of people being ill. So she's like, can you keep him a few extra days? And I was like, yeah, absolutely no problem. So my content is lacking again because I don't like to record while he's here because he's sat there on his own. But while he is here, sat there on his own of his own choice because he's playing on his iPad rather than me just going, hey, go away because I'm busy. I've done a little bit more website work in the background to try and make some of my packs and add-ons a bit better, and that's what I've been doing. So that's good. But no, I don't want to talk about coming down to an explosion of dog troubles this morning in the kitchen and nearly throwing up having to try and clean it because that's going to make people feel very sick listening to the podcast, and I don't want that to be the feeling people get while they're listening. So yeah, I'm gonna move on from there swiftly into the feedback, and we're gonna start with Firebirds, who says, hey there, Foxy, Slack, and Jessie. I know this topic has been beaten silly. I just have to vent about the Warden and its mechanics. Oh, geez, really? Really, Slack, you put this one in?
Again.
Man, Slack did the dogs today, I'm just saying, okay? They do not want people to be able to cheese it, so they gave it fire resistance. However, they do not want it to be able to break blocks. I found it's ridiculous that I could dig 3 blocks down and beat 10 Wardens senseless. If they want to avoid easy cheese methods like that, they need to give the Warden abilities to either mega jump to stop piling up, climbing walls similar to spiders, digging into the ground but not break blocks to attack players, digging away, or some kind of ranged ability. Otherwise, the Warden is just a joke. I've been enjoying the podcast while I drive to and from work. Keep it up. Thanks, Firebirds. For me, I'm going to jump straight on that. I think the Warden should be able to break blocks. If it effectively buries out of the ground and buries back in again when it goes away again, why can't it go through walls? Why can't it smash blocks? I think it should be able to.
I think it should be able to too, because it does despawn. We did some testing on a preview with it this week. Unless you keep the aggro up on it, it despawns. You know, the weather breaks blocks, creepers break blocks. Why can't this? I
would really like to hear the reasoning behind why they don't want it to break blocks, because it does seem like, I don't know, like an obvious thing and that it would be able to since it comes from underground. So it just makes me think that there's a reason why, and I'd like to know.
I think the reasoning that they've said, and they've said it a few times now on things like Twitter and in the little like video showcases they do on the Minecraft YouTube channel, that they don't like anything other than the player being able to change the world. However, there are some circumstances, i.e. creepers and endermen, that can actually make physical changes to the world. But they're obviously iconic things you can't really take out. Whereas the warden being something new, I think they're worried that people would use it for like summon a warden in and then grief people's bases, or I don't know. I think
some warden grief. Jesus, the wither's 10 times worse.
Oh yeah, and the wither as well. Yeah. Let's not forget the wither that can be summoned anywhere.
Yeah, let's not forget about the wither that can nuke your world.
Yeah.
Literally, wither griefing is a thing. But they don't like entities that destroy stuff. Get out of here. That's some mega beep, beep, beep.
Well, that's what they said. That's what they said, and I'm sure they've mentioned that to do with the warden. I think maybe it should be one of those things where you toggle on hard mode, it can break blocks, but maybe on normal or easy, it can't.
That's also why you get in peaceful piglins spawning. No.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it needs to be able to do that, but clearly they don't want it to be able to do that for whatever reason. Maybe they don't want it smashing through those portal blocks that don't do anything. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Pure speculation.
Yeah, but there you go, Firebirds. We totally agree with you. It is pretty useless. And when I did this little showcase video 1.19 beta, I didn't like go into any of the mechanics really. I just did like a very sort of fast paced, this is new, this is new, this is new. But I was playing with the warden a lot for that. And they said that only the skulk shriekers down in the actual ancient cities will be able to summon the warden. If you use one out of creative or you break one and place it somewhere else, it won't. And there was me getting everything nicely set up for my thumbnail. I got like no AI versions of the mobs that I wanted to put in the thumbnail so they didn't keep wandering off. I couldn't use the warden because in RTX it just ended up looking like Deadmau5. But I had a skulk sensor in there. There wasn't even a skulk shrieker. But every time I was placing something down, the skulk sensor was going off and a warden kept like appearing in the middle of my thumbnail. And I'm like, gee, an actual warden. And then I got to despawn it. And then when I killed it, it would spread skulk everywhere. And I like, oh my goodness. And I couldn't turn it off. So in the end, I had to get rid of like a couple of blocks and then it stopped it from coming back. And that was in a mangrove swamp biome. It wasn't even near an ancient city. Jeez. Stupid warden. Good talk there. Good talk there. Let me do a round of applause here on that one. Yep. So basically on Bedrock Edition, we're going to be able to have wardens everywhere. So this is good news. Oh, geez.
There's that parody there. What was it? The LA with the two different, which versions do you like?
Yeah.
They'll never be the same again.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Jeez. It's Brett.
Brett says, hey guys, I've really been enjoying the podcast. Each episode improves on the last. Thanks for the thoughtful and thought-provoking content. Speaking of thoughts provoked, I was thinking about the echo shards on the latest Java snapshot and what else could have echoes, and had an idea that I wanted to share. What if the reinforced deep slate portal wasn't a portal to another dimension per se, but to another time, a la The Legend of Zelda, a link to the past in which the ancient cities aren't ancient and the surface is a little more wild? Thanks, Brett. That sounds like such a cool idea. I've never played Legends of Zelda anything, so I have no idea what that reference is, but I think that would be really cool. The idea of it anyway.
Yeah, I really like that idea. I love the idea that you're going through and it's just like the overworld but different. I mean, like I said, I'd really like it to just you go into a flat world. So you've got a test world like in your world, but no, I think that'd be great. So to give you reference to The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, it's one of the few old Zelda games I've actually played because I think it's on the Nintendo Switch like SNES emulation thing that you can get. And
oh yeah, the one with like all the games on it, like tons of games.
Yeah, and it was just the idea of that was that you would be able to through various methods throughout the map, go into the same world, but like further ago, like in the past, and then you would be able to do certain things in the past, and then you would reappear back in the main world in a different location, or there'd be like people there that they were talking about from the past, and then you get to meet them. It was a bit of a weird game. It's a really old one, so it's hard to really explain, and I don't have that much experience of it, but it was I really enjoyed it. But that's sort of irrelevant, really. I think the fact that you could just go through that portal and end up in another deep dark that's not a deep dark, it's just like a civilization. There's loads of new villager types in there, all building the ancient city. Yeah, it'd be great. What do you think, Slack?
It's literally just another dimension that you're saying it's a different time code. I'm sorry, but I'm going to bust a hole right in this from the beginning. From a coding standpoint, no matter how you do it, it's literally a different dimension. And I get the concept of what they're saying. Hey, it's a time jump back into the past, but it's Minecraft. There's no structures that are going to change. There's nothing that's going to change.
Why?
It's not going to affect the future.
No, it wouldn't affect the future. No, they're just saying you go back and all these underwater monuments that are broken, they're fixed. The shipwrecks are no longer sank. They're on the water, Well,
then that would be, I guess, a pristine version of the world. And we just don't have that.
Well, I mean,
really
that would make it.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to add more data to the world?
Yeah, loads. And the whole, multiple dimensions, I think. You should be able to go through that. And every time you go through it, you get something new.
Can we have map walls in every one of these dimensions?
Yeah,
Well,
loads of them.
hey.
And glow signs everywhere.
That's perfect. Sign me up. Sign me up, baby. Woo!
In fact, all of the blocks in the world are just made of entities. There are no blocks there. They're just all entities. As soon as you go
mean
through,
like ender chests and like chests.
it just lags you out immediately.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Where do I sign up?
Can't wait. Right. Wow, such a misery. Come back when you haven't done 5 days worth of being.
I'm in a good mood. Look, somebody needs to objectively be the bad guy.
Hey, we got this
here.
really
You're
good
both-
idea.
You're
What do you
both
think's
so
like?
happy?
Rubbish.
Foxy's like, yeah, this is good, and Jessie's like, yeah, that's good, and I'm just like, rubbish. Throw it away.
Okay.
I'll be grumpy no
Slack
tail.
doesn't like any ideas. This is good news. Right, moving on to
Zeta over
Chagris.
here with a
Slack.
comment to Jessiie. Jessiie wasn't even here last week, and Zeta's going to call out Jessiie. You have, in fact, made dolphin noises frequently. Usually after, the whole baby doo-doo.
Oh, no.
Sound alert. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Trust me, I know, said Zeta. What
Trust
you
me,
say
I
there,
know. What does
Jessiie?
that mean? Got something to tell us, Jessiie. Is Zeta your landlord?
No, Zeta has this terrible habit of liking to do the absolute worst sound alerts. So when I first started streaming, I had Baby Shark, right? That's the techno version. And it was only like, I had it at 100 bits because I was dumb. He literally played it every 3 minutes for a solid 30 minutes. And
Wow.
I was going to lose my mind. So now it is 1,300 bits.
Wow.
Because I'm like, nope, if you're going to annoy me, you're going to pay me, man. So yeah.
Zeta did that in my stream once, and I changed the cooldown on those, and I was like, if you ever play that again, I will ban you. And I 100% mean it. If he comes into my stream tomorrow after hearing this and plays it, he will get banned from my stream. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, because that's how loving and nice I am.
Yeah, see, again, Slack in a really good mood today. It's nice.
I'm in a great mood. Thank you. Thank you.
Ban this prolific TB fan that's been around us for years for playing something I have set for them to be able to play on my live stream. Friendly
You can't play it on my
today.
live stream. So if he ends up playing it on my live stream, he get banned because it's gone.
Amazing.
It's blacklisted.
Right. Okay, Chagris. Says Flora.
I'm in a great mood. I'm actually sitting here smiling.
Yeah, I can tell.
Look. Look, happy Slack.
I'm really happy. Yeah.
Hi, Slack.
Amazing. Right, moving on. Chagris says Foxy, Slack, and Jessiie B. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate your content and the effort you put into everything you do. I started playing Minecraft back in 2010, played on and off for years, but only relatively recently began to dive deeper into the game. I fully attribute this to TB happily stumbling upon it by accident while looking for how-to videos. I find value of many kinds from each and every member of TB. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you very much, Chagras. That's amazing. Very nice.
Yeah.
Slack probably doesn't like it.
Can I be grumpy again? They started playing it in 2010. It didn't come out till 2011.
Oh, jeez. They went through the portal in the ancient city and got it early, all right? Jeez.
That makes sense now. Okay, thank you. Yeah,
right.
All right.
Quick, Jessiie.
Okay.
Hip Hop says, Dear Foxy, Slack, and Jessiie, Miss Jessiie, hope she gets more sleep. I just watched the last podcast, and in my opinion, it's dangerous to get between a mother and her sleep. I've started making the TB rewind. I already have the intro and most of the recap of Foxy's scripted videos. Wait, video scripted. Wow. Sorry. It's going to take some time and work, but I think people are going to enjoy it, and that's a good motivator. Sincerely, Hip Hop. Wait, are we getting a fifth rendition of the TB Rewind?
For those that can't see, I'm making a weird face on camera to the rest of them. I'm just saying.
I'm not looking. You're on a different screen. Right. Yeah, we Hip Hop asked last week if we minded them doing another one, and we said obviously not. You're welcome to do that. And we just basically said, good luck. It's going to be very difficult to do. It's a very hard thing to do, and I'm really happy that they're taking that on. All I will say, Hip Hop, and this sounds like I'm being Mr. Miserable Lizard now, but I'm not. Is don't expect it to just fly off. Even if you do the best job in the world and it's the best edit and it's funny and it's brilliant, don't expect it to just do really, really well, because I think that's a big problem with when people take these things on. They're assuming they're just going to jump into the sort of thousands of views and take off straight away. And they don't. It's just like starting any other content on any other channel. It takes a long time to build an audience and get the word out there. Even if you get all of the Truly Bedrock members loving it and sharing it out there and telling people about it, you're still going to be on an uphill struggle, because people that aren't subscribed to you and people that aren't aware of you outside of those circles are going to take a long time to find you. So absolutely do it, but just be prepared mentally that a small number of views... No one will
comment except the TB members, probably.
Yeah. Yep. And a small number of views doesn't mean it's a bad video or that it wasn't enjoyed. It just means it's going to take a long time. Okay, so
YouTube it does.
Yeah, Slack.
I want to say one thing. I want to say that as somebody who used to do it for TB, I just want to give my 2 cents out there and say, don't get overwhelmed, or try not to get overwhelmed, because it's a lot. There's how many active TB members?
Lots.
There's 16, 14?
Yeah, a lot.
14, 16.
Many.
There's a lot of us. And that's a lot of content to try and get through.
Especially
and
it's
really difficult. So don't try to do too much. Don't feel pressured to do too much. And just know that whatever you do is appreciated by us. And as long as you're enjoying yourself, that's great.
You don't want to make enemies, though. I'm just saying. You don't like Slack's videos, and you don't want to watch Slack video, and you don't put Slack in the recap or rewind or whatever you want to call it. And Slack ain't going to like you, and he ain't going to promote you. I'm just saying.
My goodness.
Here we go again.
Moral of the story, ignore Slack.
No,
wow, most people do. Good talk.
I was going to say then, when I did it for the few episodes I did, I think I was quite smart in just only featuring a handful of videos. So basically I had everyone on a rota. So I watched as many videos as I could. I was looking out for I had a channel set up on the TB Discord for people to put their favorite bits in, so that I could see what was popular that week, so I didn't miss anything. But if I was doing every single member's videos, it'd be impossible. I don't know how Zloy and Pixel Rift do it. I know it affects Zloy very much mentally, and it's a struggle. I would never put that on anyone else. So maybe just do 2 or 3 members a week, and that's fine. Nobody, including Slack, will be angry at you because you didn't get every single one of their videos in there. Okay? Apart from me and Jessiie.
And me. And
Slack. Yeah. And probably the rest of the TB members, but we'll pretend we're not angry at you. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on, Slack.
We don't have ego problems, all of us. No, we're not content creators and love attention and everything else. No,
definitely not.
Goodness.
What's J Hull got to say, Slack?
I love the magnet idea. Idea. Thanks for the great podcast. In case you missed it, Jessiie, last week,
yes,
I had an idea that, you had like a magnetic enchantment where like it's like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and so on and so forth. And like magnets level 1, like would pull blocks like 2, anything that's 2 blocks away from you, pull to your inventory. And 3, it'd pull 3 blocks in. And 4, so you know how you break a block and it like goes 37 blocks to the east and the next one goes to the west for no logical reason? Magnets. Just saying, magnets.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm on board.
Item magnets is the future. I'm telling you.
Foxy, you said you were going to make this add-on. Where's it at?
Well, I said if we get enough people saying they like the idea, then I would make it. And so far we had one. So, that's 100% positivity so far, because no one said I don't like the idea, but it is a very small user base so far.
So you're saying it's a targeted audience?
It's very, very one person.
Right, okay, so if you would like to see magnets, you can, or give us more feedback, you know where to email. Just saying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. theminecraftupdatepod@gmail.com. Speaking of, somebody that didn't email that and actually left a YouTube comment was Rusty Shackelford. Oh, Rusty. It's nice to see the same names coming in every week. They said, I had a good belly laugh when you said the warden would get angry at itself. Every update, I think to myself, great, what are they going to screw up this time? And this, even though it's fixed, is one of the funniest things they've managed to do in a long time. This is up there with the trapping the Ender Dragon in a boat, a bug from 1.1 that also made me laugh, or the Wither being a complete wimp back in either Season 0 or Season 1 when cages were made out of slime blocks. I doubt, does the warden attempt to beat itself up like Jim Carrey and Liar Liar? I don't know, I haven't seen it, I only heard it, Rusty, jeez. But yeah, it was really funny. I like that one.
That's brilliant.
Wow. Wow. Just
yeah. I haven't seen that happening. I mean, the warden it got very angry at the Wandering Trader. It doesn't like the Wandering Trader or its llamas. And speaking of, in the Deep Dark, the no mobs are supposed to spawn in the Deep Dark, right?
Yep.
Everything was spawning. Everything. There were skeletons and zombies everywhere. And I'm like, are they falling out of like cave pockets in the ceiling? No, they were just spawning all over the Deep Dark.
You know how he was fearing the whole, what did they break this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember how I've said, this might be news. Might need to wait. Okay. Yeah, because our news section's really thin, right? Yeah.
Let's save it for news.
Yeah.
Okay. Something to look forward to, peeps. Yay!
Okay. Well, then I will continue. Rusty also says, if Mob D is being added to dungeons and not the main game, I'll be real salty. I voted for Mob D because ultimately if it was an awful mob like the Phantom, which seemed very uninteresting to me, it could at least be avoided. I voted for the Copper Golem for the same reason. Wow. It can be ignored if it's terrible or broken. Makes me feel like the people making decisions for these games don't actually play games a whole lot. Now taking bets on when they'll add yet another zombie variant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very salty, Rusty Shackelford. Jeez. They quite clearly said on those mob votes, if, whichever ones don't win, that's it. They're not coming back. It's not like they said on the Viam votes where they're like, oh, even the ones that don't get through, we're going to put in the game anyway, eventually, and didn't actually do. The mob ones, they specifically said...
We're finally getting a swamp update. It's only been 4.5 years.
We're not. We're getting a mangrove biome. It's not a swamp.
Right. But it was a swamp boat.
No, it's a chest boat. The swamp's getting frogs. And fireflies, potentially.
Well, depending on what biome it is on Bedrock Edition anyways, And
the birch, the birch biome update, and they gave us all that nice, graphical art with tall birch trees and the sun shining through, and there were like little funguses growing off the tree. Where's that?
Fungus? Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Rubbish.
I think you're imagining things now.
Yeah, tell us stories, this Mojang lot. Keep us dangling on things, carrots that don't exist.
RTX on Xbox, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think you can be salty. I think that I'm really happy about the fact that another version of Minecraft, albeit dungeons, it's not actually Minecraft, is picking up that and going, hey, that was fun. People like that. Let's chuck it in this game. Because I don't think you can be salty that it's not coming to Bedrock or in Minecraft at all, because they said it definitely won't. So yeah, what do you think, Jess?
I agree. I think that they were pretty clear early on that you were voting for one and the others were getting scrapped. So the idea that they're putting it anywhere, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Right, Slack, what's Keggy got to say?
First, I want to say I think the vote system's bad. But anyway, Keggy.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's awful. It's like the
Foxy
worst system
and
ever.
Slack, thanks for the great podcast. The Minecraft Update podcast screen is broke after about 20 seconds in. Did you break it again?
Right,
Yeah.
okay. This time, so last time I said it's probably because I rendered the video out at 1 frame per second. And when I watch it back on my PC, it plays absolutely fine. And when I uploaded it to YouTube, obviously the first one was smeared. I was like, okay, well, I'll produce the second one at 15 frames a second, which is a common, like, frames per second for people, animators, people like that. So YouTube should be able to handle with it. So the first one took like 2 minutes to render out. This one took nearly 10 minutes. So it took loads longer because of these extra frames per second, and then looked even worse on YouTube. And it looked fine on my PC again. So I honestly don't understand what the issue is here. YouTube's just going like crackers. So I will fiddle with it again this week. But no doubt this week you're going to see another smudged logo after a few seconds on the YouTube screen. But it doesn't matter because you're losing it with your ears. Just don't even look at the screen. Turn your screen off if you can, or turn the brightness down. Don't fixate on things that are broken that don't matter. Okay? Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyone else said?
No, I got nothing else on that.
Nope. Yeah.
Okay.
Second
Lofty
that.
says, good podcast, guys. Foxy and Slack collab Good podcast, guys. Foxy and Slack collab. How about a throwback collab? You or the viewers pick a video from yours ago. Oh, jeez. Lofty, you can't just put words in without letters in. I don't know what it says.
You mean without
I think she's saying go back and remake some of the videos we did again. You know, the ones she comments back on every 3 months when she goes on a kick and goes back and rewatches all the Mr. Onion and our collabs. And she's like, I really like this one still. You know? Yeah. I think she wants us to go back and remake those videos. Like you arguing with yourself or Mr.
How could
Onion.
you remake old videos? What?
Just re-record them. Go back to the same set and do it all over again.
No, not doing it. Rubbish. Stupid idea.
I mean, look, I got a better mic now. Could you imagine going back and redoing some of those episodes? It'd be so much better.
It wouldn't make any difference. I know you keep saying you've got a new mic now. Honestly, Slack, I don't tell any difference at this end. Through Discord or whatever it is, when I listen to you, it doesn't sound any different. You sound just as good as you did on TP Season 0.
That's a lie, because I was using a broken headset there that was held together
After
from
I
the
sent you that
ceiling with duct
microphone
tape.
that was good. All right, halfway through TV
I can
Season
get that
0.
mic for you real quick if you'd like. Would you like me to go get that?
No, that was fine. It was fine. You just use it. You shouldn't use it inside of a packet of crisps. That's the problem.
Yeah, but the problem was I didn't have nothing. No crisps within 30 miles.
Well, it must have got broken in shipping. It worked perfectly well in the UK. Anyway, moving on, Jesse, quick.
That's a different microphone. That wasn't season 0. That was season 1.
Well, whatever. I think you sound lovely in all your videos, Slack. I'm just saying, especially
It's okay,
on the
princess.
podcast.
It's okay.
Well, Daniel A says, great podcast this week. Though I miss Jessiie. Hope she's okay. I'm fine, guys. I promise.
Why is it always the week after? It's the week after. You have to read the ones that you weren't there for. I'm like,
Yeah, it's true.
sure do miss Slack. Be glad when he comes back. And I'm like, not awkward.
Yeah, but that's they're writing it on the one that they've listened to when you weren't there. So you know we could just always ignore that feedback.
get
But it's
it.
nice. It's nice.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's
mine.
lovely.
It's fine. It's mine.
Right. Okay. That's the end of today's feedback. If you would like to leave us feedback, then please leave feedback at our email address, which is theminecraftupdatepod@gmail.com. You can put feedback in your subject line to make it easy for us to, decide that it's feedback. If you
and as a bonus, you know, you might want to send this man a book or two because feedback was a little light this week, and he's like, "Oh, we don't have much to talk about." Look, y'all give him books, and he complains. You don't give him books, and then he's like, "We ain't got nothing to talk about."
we got a light news week this week. That's all. And anyway, if you don't leave feedback on the emails, then you can drop a comment below the video if you're watching this on YouTube, or you can leave one in mine at Slack or Jessie's Discord. And do that, and hopefully it'll find its way into the podcast. Right, moving on from feedback and into our relatively, we got no news. We got nothing. We got one piece of news, I guess. So I haven't even got like Normally there's links and I've written about it and there's nothing. So I'm going to start with the fact that, did you guys notice yesterday YouTube was totally broken?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I recorded and, I've been on this, tangent and I couldn't upload no videos. Yeah.
Yeah, I was working on my website stuff all day, and I decided at 9 p.m. last night I'm going to go and chill out for a couple of hours in front of the TV and soak in some YouTube because all of my series are like finished or not running at the moment. So I put the TV on, and it said that because I use the NVIDIA Shield thing for my TV, and I put it on, put YouTube on, and the sidebar was missing. I'm like, oh no, the app's broken. So I like restarted the thing. Didn't work. Cleared the cache and the data didn't work. Reinstalled the app, didn't work. I'm like, what's going on here? And the home, all you had access to was the homepage, but it wasn't my homepage. It was just some random like videos. It was like, well, is this the standard homepage YouTube uses for incognito mode or something like that? So yeah, and then I was like, okay, I'll watch it on my phone then. And my phone worked perfectly fine, but I was like, I can't sit there on my phone. So I got my laptop, put my laptop out, and the same thing was happening. And then I looked online, and there was this, like, the YouTube down detector, huge, massive spike of reports of just YouTube being totally broken. And I thought, oh, okay, well, that's good. Nice to know this site that we rely on for our, our living and our entertainment just can completely and utterly destroy itself for a few hours.
Yeah. As one does.
Yeah, well, like my home and everything else was working fine. I still had the left side menu. Speaking of left side menu, there's new icons on it, but my subscriptions and all that was there. But like, how you go to click your icon and you're like, I would like to go anywhere and do anything, YouTube Studio, switch accounts.
Yeah.
Just an infinite loading screen of nothingness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Yeah, that's the problem I came across is I couldn't get past anything loading. It was just like, oh, yep, nope, we're going. I was like, really? Because I pushed that 10 minutes ago. No, we're gonna go. Promise. We're doing it.
It's
Okay,
weird,
cool,
isn't
thanks.
it? It's obviously there's different data centers serving different things. Because here I had that. I had no menu at all. There was nothing I could do. If I clicked on my little icon, nothing. No sidebar, and like I say, the homepage was just the videos played. If you click one of the videos off the homepage, they played perfectly fine. So someone's pressed the wrong button. I think they must have hired Jeff. And
no.
Darn it.
No, this is our livelihood. Look, we already deal with Jeff in one instance, okay?
YouTube now on the side. He's moonlighting for YouTube at the same time, and he's doing Mojang in order to keep up his
bad shame. Where's my bell?
Yeah. Okay, so there's been no betas this week so far because we are recording it on beta day, and we're recording at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they normally come out at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So that will probably, by the time you're listening to this, you'll be like, wow, there was this amazing thing and all of this stuff. Yeah, but there's nothing for us, all right? Jeez. So we'll get into all of that next week. Speaking of betas, though, obviously now that we've got Minecraft Beta 1.19 out for Bedrock Edition, 1.18.30 must be around the corner. So I wouldn't be surprised if that drops within the next couple of weeks because, well, it tends to be the case when they stop working on a version, doesn't it? Are you guys looking forward to the updates in that one?
What's this update supposed to be bringing again? I don't remember.
Everything. It's got like all of the parity changes in this one. It's got all it's just basically a whole new game. I can't remember. I'm just waffling. I'll try and find the changelog for it. Bear with me.
Yeah, an updated changelog that makes sense. That would make sense to me, yeah.
So, a whole new world experience. The Create World screen's got an update.
Nice.
World generation parity with the 64-bit seeds is in there.
Nice.
Hunger depletion rate changes to match Java even though it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Players finding creative don't get pushed by Liquid. Shulker farming is in there.
That's what I'm looking forward to, yeah.
When a mob picks up an item, the item can now be seen slightly pulled towards the mob as it picks it up to match Java Edition.
No, not interested.
Drowned no longer spawn where block light level is above 0. That's a big one.
I don't want that. Okay.
Yeah.
Bees no longer angry if you destroy the beehive with Silk Touch. Untimed wolves can be leashed. Mobs can no longer spawn on campfires. Ravager now starts targets and attacks the Wandering Trader. Mobs spawned from a dispenser are now persistent. I didn't think we could spawn mobs from a dispenser on Bedrock.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Falling blocks once again have a full hitbox. Change the block tick rates for cactus, chorus flower, crops, grass, pointed dripstone and saplings. Cauldrons now fill with water and lava by dripstones that are below water and lava source blocks.
Huh?
Yeah, you can't do it on flowing. They have to have full source blocks above them now to drip into.
Well, darn.
Well, that's already in.
TNT blocks now correctly move in a random XZ direction once lit.
Oh, great.
Glow lichen no longer generates hanging in the air inside of strongholds.
What about the floating torches and mine shafts? Did they deal with that?
Probably not. I'm just going to skip through a few things.
Okay.
The player's arm no longer twitches while charging a bow. They've taken all of our furnace fuel away, so nether brick, iron, gold, nuggets, red, brown, mushroom blocks, and chorus plants don't work in furnaces as fuel anymore.
Saddened about that.
Water and lava buckets can now be used on waterlogged blocks, so you don't lose your stuff anymore. So, that's nice. This has got all of the damage accuracy calculation improvements as well. So all of the damage stuff should be better.
They'll make us just take tons upon tons of damage. Yep. When it drops. Yep.
So the netherite armor is basically now like god armor because you can't. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
There's just loads. It's a huge one. Updated trades for villagers, fishermen, clerics, weaponsmiths, and armorers. They no longer share seeds and beetroot seeds, villagers. So they won't throw those to each other.
I didn't know that they threw seeds.
No, I didn't. No, I've never seen that, but there you go.
I've never seen them throw seeds ever. Maybe they're invisible. They're discreetly.
Yeah.
Some of these beetroot seeds over here.
There's loads and loads of performance and gameplay fixes and stability stars. It's huge. Mobs, there's loads. Jeez. Villagers no longer avoid zombified piglins, it says. Fixed an issue where villagers did not hold the item they would trade when presented with emeralds by the player. It's just the biggest changelog in the world, and it goes on forever. So, yeah.
When is this coming?
I would say, guessing, of course, completely, because I don't know. Why would I know? That it'd probably be here in the next couple of weeks or so, maybe, possibly. Who knows?
Yes, maybe sometime, this month or next month. Yeah, sounds about right. Oh, Foxy, did you see? Did you see my DM the other day? I know you did because you replied to it, and this is a casual way of me bringing that up. Nobody's got it out for you.
Wasn't me.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how nobody has it out for you, right?
Oh yeah, of course they do. No, do you know what, Slack? This I'm really happy about this. So, for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, Spectator Mode is now in Bedrock Edition. It's in the latest beta, and it's not hidden behind experimental mode. And it also doesn't really work very well, but it does. It works a lot better than it did. It's not just the cheaty Spectator Mode we had before by changing the game files. It's actually a proper Spectator Mode where the world will render properly beneath the blocks when you go into it. So basically, if you fly, go into creative mode, and then change your game mode to game mode 6, you will be going into Spectator Mode, and all of the features that you should expect from Spectator Mode kind of a bit sort of work, but don't really work. So entities won't recognize you when you're in a Spectator Mode, but there are still weird things that you can do with inventories and stuff like that.
Do they still spawn?
They do still spawn. So there's a lot of work that still needs to be done with it. Now, it's a bit of a weird one because I think it was obviously left in by accident. And I have heard things from various people that have said you're not allowed to talk about things. So I've got information that I can't share on it. But basically what I can say is it's very likely that it will probably go away again and then come back at a later date more polished. It is definitely coming in the future, but it is very likely to disappear before it comes back again. If it doesn't disappear before it comes back again, then big thank you to one of the Mojang developers who gave us a lot of information about this, because they're working hard to keep it in the betas. But as much as it is a beta thing, Mojang don't really like to have very broken or unfinished things in the betas. And I know that sounds like a bit of a joke, but in this case, they're not ready for it yet by the sounds of things. So, yeah, I've probably said loads of stuff I shouldn't have said then.
No. Look, you may have insider information, but I don't. And I've heard exactly the same thing. That it's not supposed to be there, that it was said that it's going to change, then it's going to go away, and then it's going to come back, and now so-and-so is trying to get it to stay in. I've heard the same thing.
In that case, then.
That being
I feel too bad now.
And I'm not in none of these developer things or anything like that, so, and I've heard that. That being that, this is an opportunity for the Bedrock community's voice to be heard. And what I mean by that is, like, when stuff sometimes hit Java and then they take it away and the community uprise and they put it back.
Yeah.
This feels like this is one of our opportunities to be like, no, we really want this. You put it in. It's like, oh, we accidentally left the debug screen in F3. We need to take that out. And then the community's like, put it back. And they put it back.
Yeah.
I feel like this is that opportunity for us. Oops, we didn't mean to leave this. We're going to take it away. Excuse me, we know it's there. We want it now.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you could say the same thing about RTX that dropped for consoles the other week, that they've been categorically, they even put an official post out going, no, you're not having that. You're not having
exactly.
that.
It's going to take the community to get behind it to get it in the game.
I think these two things are slightly separate. And so I think the RTX stuff will come to consoles. I think there is reasons that they're not sharing with us why they can't right now. With Spectator Mode, the fact that they've said actively, you know, we are working on it, this is a feature that's coming, does say to me that we don't need to make a big fuss about this. Even if it goes away in the short term, we know that it is something that's coming. So I think it's okay. And,
and there's been many things I just want to point out that was supposedly coming that have also been banned in the past.
That's true.
But did you also know that in the most recent version of the beta, guess what's back, Foxy? Guess. Come on, make it.
The Furnace XP glitch.
It's back once again.
It is back. You don't even have to smelt anything this time. This time, you go to the furnace, you get some, like, the highest value XP smelty thing in your hand, such as ancient debris, and you just keep tapping with your auto clicker that ancient debris on the third slot of your inventory, and you get infinite amounts of XP. It is ridiculous. Ugh. Absolutely ridiculous.
Ew.
How?
It goes to show that we've talked about this many times before. We may get a version of the game that goes out 1.18. Then we get 3 hot fixes. The people who were developing the next version of the game were starting on the core of 1.18. So they didn't get none of the hot fixes. So when 1.19 rolls out, they have to do this spaghetti patchwork to try to put all the hot fixes in, not knowing what's going on with this person's code or this person's code. And that's why sometimes we get creepers spawning in trees and kelp farms completely broke because person A did this with kelp and person B did this in a hot fix, and now we're going to intermesh this code because we don't care, and we're going to take this round peg and shove it in this square hole until it fits.
I don't think it's because they don't care. I think it's just hard. if you've got like, I think it's known as TikTok development. I'm not sure if that's right, but basically you've got 2 versions of the game being worked on at all times, one for the next hot fix, one for the one after. Then trying to combine both of those, that's got to be hard. It's not going to be easy. So
round plug, square hole, just shave it off and just shove it in.
So yeah, that's nice to see that back in. All of the people that were obsessing over that before can make all their videos all over again. Hooray! Oh,
yeah. Cheaty Furnace back. Clickbait right there. Foxy, there's your add-on that people were asking to make last week.
Yeah, I know, right? As soon as I found out about the Spectator thing, I was in the middle of doing something. I thought I could make a really quick video on that. And I looked around and there were no videos on it. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Even though I can farm a lot of views with that, I'm not going to do it.
Same thing, and I didn't do it.
And then
like 10 minutes later,
there's just all of the videos. Spectator Mode in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Oh, I could have been there. I could have worn that T-shirt.
Same thing. As soon as I found out, I was like talking to Watchman. I was like, if I put a video together real quick, can you edit it and get it out there? And I was like, hey, T-Man, you want to go do a group recording real quick? We mess around the Spectator and, just real quick. And we just didn't end up doing it. And it wasn't literally 20, 30 minutes later, like, here they come, and boom, boom, in the Discords. And I'm just like, yep, good talk.
Yeah.
Dang.
I know. That's the sort of thing that you throw out a short. If you can get a short out first, when you get that information early and you throw a short out first, then you know you're going to do well on that one. But as soon as the big hitters land with their videos, just there's no point.
You're done. Yeah. You're done. You better rake those views in quick.
Yeah.
Give me.
Exactly. So I could have done it, but I didn't. Speaking of, though, that, does remind me, this update video I did for the 1.19 beta, I mentioned earlier that it's doing well. it's surprising. You've got like your normal survival videos that are like 20, 30 minutes long that get good watch time, get a lot of viewers, they get a lot of clicks in the YouTube like recommended and homepage things. So they go well, and they make a reasonable amount of money, I guess, per video compared to like other videos. But they don't get many new subscribers from those. They're very much videos for your existing audience. They put this one out, and it started off really slow. But then it shot up way past like all the other stuff. But none of my views were from my subscribers, my recommendations. They were all found in the search. It was all search views, and the subscribers on that. It's within like 10 hours, I'd had 30 or 40 subscribers just from that video. Whereas a normal Let's Play video from me, I maybe get after a few days or after a week, maybe 3 or 4. So. Like, that was crazy. So I think I'm definitely going to be doing some more of those videos.
You can go look at any big channel out there that's been around for years. And most of the time, their biggest videos, the ones that draw in people, are either top 10s, top 5s, or their beta, snapshots, and stuff like that. Go look at anybody. It's a trend. Yeah.
Well, I've been wanting to do snapshot videos for a long time, and I used to a long time ago, and it's just it feels like the right time to sort of try and get back into it. Although the one I did, so it took me like 2 full days to do it because I wrote a script which only took 10 minutes to try and keep it short and snappy, but it was actually then getting the footage to fill in that script. Took forever. It took absolutely forever.
Most people you watch do that though. Look, it's just B-roll. It's B-roll.
Yeah, but it takes ages to get all that B-roll.
That I've seen some people just literally just record 10 minutes of them just wandering around in their world. And like the focus of the screen. I don't care about the
not
visual.
To call
Show
anyone
me the
out,
change look.
IBS Toy Cat, he does that, doesn't he? So he'll put a video out on a topic and he'll talk for ages, but it'll just be background footage of him playing Bed Wars or something like that, which is fine because he's talking to you about it. But I want to showcase what I'm talking about.
And you're going to have to either run really quick and as soon as you find out the information, hammer hard. And not waste no time, or you're just going to have to accept that it's going to be a late video.
Yeah. Well, I want to put those videos out quickly, not necessarily to get the early views, just because I don't want to like spend a whole week on it. I want to do a nice quick video, so I need to find a way of sort of juggling that, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of which, I need a moment. I got to run to the bathroom.
Yay, party break. I'm going to have one quick as well then. Back in about.
Okay.
Dance break.
I hope we got one.
Very, very short one.
Yay. Oh, looking forward to editing this one. Right, last bit of the news then before we go on to the next section. And it's
we got more news?
Well, it's not really news. It's just something I noticed. So I was panicking on the last podcast and this one that there's been no like the Java snapshot information. I couldn't find it. So basically, there's the Minecraft website where you get all of the information. They've got a page which lists all of the beta patch notes. They've got a page which lists all of the stable release Bedrock patch notes. One for Java Edition as well. But the Java Edition one doesn't have the link for the latest snapshot in there anywhere. It's not on the page. And I'm like, oh, well, I can't find all of the information for the recovery compass. Where is it? If you type it in Google, it comes up with the Minecraft page with all of the information on there, but it's not in the list of all of the... It's so weird. So it's not really news. It's just something I added in because it was really frustrating when I was trying to find this information. And again, I went on there today. I'm like, oh, there's nothing this week either. And then it dawned on me, oh, yeah, we're a day early this week. So it's probably okay. So if you're wondering where the information for Minecraft Java 22W14A is, then Google it because it's not on the list. Jeez. Right. Has anybody got any more news they would like to share?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's been raining here for a week.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Tell you're definitely British. Oh, that's nice. It's raining.
Yeah, it's lovely. I like a bit of rain. I do. It's nice, isn't it? Get all your save your water and your plants. Lovely. Right.
Well, I mean, I guess it's been raining at Jessie's for about a month now. With the hole in the floor.
So much rain, it's even gone mouldy in her hole. Jeez. Right, moving on.
Fine.
Has anybody, I know there's nothing written in this week's bug date section. I can't see any bug date stuff on the feedback. There's nothing in the questions. Did we get no bug reports this week?
I haven't got a single one.
No? Oh, jeez. And Jessie's not been playing because she's been too busy worrying about all the water getting in her computer. Slack hasn't been playing because he's been too busy jumping up and down waiting for Jen to come and pretending he's actually working, but he's just too excited, just sat in a corner shaking. And I haven't been playing because I've been busy. So have we found there's been no bugs this week?
No.
There's probably bugs out there. It's just none of us have had time to find them.
No. Oh, have you not? I mean, you've been grinding 12 hours a day, 5 days this week, Slack. Have you not found any bugs?
Come
on, just one. Just give me a bug.
Zombie villagers don't count towards global mob cap.
Oh, go on. Explain.
That's just it. They just don't count towards global mob cap.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there you go. The Bugdate. Fantastic. Best section of the pod. I really thought this was going to be a big deal when we started this podcast. Like, oh, yeah, the Bugdate. Everyone's going to come to our podcast for the Bugdate because it's going to have all the information.
And we even asked for feedback last week and got none.
Yeah.
None. They're all waiting until today because they know we record on Thursday. So all the emails will come in today.
Probably. If you have found a bug in Minecraft and you know it's a bug and you found it on the Jira and you got the change log or you've got the bug number, or even if you haven't found it because it's not been listed, well, then you should be listing it. But I understand, but it is a genuine bug, then please let us know in the feedback, either again by emailing us at theminecraftupdatepod@gmail.com or a comment or dropping a note in the Discord.
That's a bug. The furnace just doesn't give me infinite XP anymore. Yeah.
This furnace, it's broken. I only get one go of XP out of it. And phantoms, they hurt when they fly into you. That's broken as well. Jeez. Oh, man.
Why wouldn't phantoms hurt? I'm confused.
The bug.
They're not coming down to give you a hug because you haven't been to sleep.
Good morning.
It's
That's
like
what
the
they're doing.
boogeyman. Go to sleep or the boogeyman will get you.
No, they're just doing drive-by hellos. They swoop down, good morning, and then fly off again.
little tap on the back. Good job.
Yeah.
Little tap on the shoulder. Maybe you should go to bed. Nah, it'll be all right.
Yeah, someone actually wrote about phantoms the other day. I can't remember where I saw it, but it made sense to me. Why do they punish you for not sleeping? I think they should... No, they said that they should punish you for sleeping too much or something to encourage players to explore the night more or something. I don't know how it would work, but that kind of sounded good to me.
Actually, I'm a little worried. We're like an hour in and like 20 minutes of this can't be used. You said well go. And we're already up to the question section.
It's going to be a short one this week, guys. Okay, right. Well, I've tried to beat the Bugdate to death. It didn't work, so moving on to the Q&A section. Fortunately, we have got a couple of books here. I'm sure we can elaborate on some of the answers. And I'm going to start with Chagras, who says, Foxy, Slack, Jessiie B. Sorry for the many words. I'll try to break this up into smaller sections, i.e. chapters. 1. I personally love the idea of a new metal/ore. What would you think of a new ore from the end that could be something like a meteorite? I would love the concept of something otherworldly from the end, but I don't think a material with a huge durability would matter, though, unless they make stronger mob type.
Moonrock.
Yeah, we kind of covered like end ingots and things in the last couple of updates. We mentioned about having ingots and stuff from the end. I don't understand why a meteorite would make sense. I think a lot of people feel like the end is supposed to be space, but I don't think it is. I don't think that's the idea of the end. I think it's just an empty dimension with like it just in darkness. I don't think you're supposed to have suddenly gone into space. Although for truly bedrock, you definitely are. It's the moon. Okay.
Yeah, it's the moon given shape and form. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't think meteorite would make sense, but I would like more ores and things in the game. I would like the game to open up to a more technical user base and get away from the sort of medieval aspect of things and push more into like other things you can do with metals and creating alloys and stuff like that. That would be fun.
Yeah, I made a rocket.
You made a rocket, you did. Any thoughts on that, you two?
I really like the idea of having more ore, especially in other dimensions, but I agree. I don't think that a meteorite necessarily makes sense, but like having some sort of steel or something like that would be really neat. I've always been a proponent of adding more types of metal into the game.
Yeah. Sorry, Slack. They push,
no, go ahead.
They push you to go to the Nether for ancient debris. I really like that change. And they obviously they spent the time making the Nether so you could actually live there. You don't need to go to the overworld. You can pretty much just survive in the Nether. I think when they do the end update that they'll hopefully have that same sort of thought process, and they'll go, okay, we're going to make it so in the end there's no real necessity to go back to the overworld. You could completely live there. I would like to see that, but I don't know how that will work, because obviously we'll need some. I mean, you can eat shulker stuff. You can eat not shulker stuff. What's it called? Chorus fruit for food. But there's no way of getting like iron or gold or anything like that really particularly easily or without wood. End cities. Say again? Or wood?
Or wood.
Yeah, so they'd need an end wood. And I really like the idea that they push you...
entry.
Yeah, an entry with purple leaves and yellow bark or something. I like the idea that they push you go into the end for specific things like minerals or ores or metals or something like that. So there's more of a reason to go there than just shulker boxes. So sorry, Slack, I cut you off.
No. It just my brain was last night when I was playing. I've been doing so much Minecraft, and I was watching a time lapse in one of my videos, and like constantly mobs were jumping around and bashing me, and. You know how we had the idea of the in-game beacons a long time ago? You know, you put up a beacon, mobs are not spawning around that.
Yeah.
This kind of made me think of that, but not really. I was thinking originally that what if there was a new ore, and when you enchanted your armor, it kind of made you like a passive. But let me explain further. Like, what if you had an enchantment you put on the sword and called it like the Peacekeeper or whatever, and while you had your sword equipped, all mobs just ignored you.
Ooh.
So as long as you're walking around with that sword with that enchantment on, nothing bothers you. But say you switch to your pick, suddenly all the mobs are back to normal. I don't know. I figured that was a weird thing I was thinking last night.
That'd be kind of cool.
So like gold armor and piglins, basically, but a universal
like a one. Universal. So it's like in game. My original idea was, to take something that you'd have to use like the dragon egg. So there could only be like one on the world, and you'd have to craft it or use it as an enchantment to make like the Peacekeeper or whatever like that. And then everything around you would just not care. You could walk right beside a creeper as long as you had that item in your hand, you were perfectly fine. But like if you switched over to something else, surprise, boom. Yeah,
that would be good. And I think that's probably pretty doable with what exists in the game already. I would be surprised if that's not really completely possible to do with an add-on, even though it'd be really really complicated to do with an add-on, because you'd have to change all of the like vanilla entities.
You'd have to change your player file more than likely. Like I made a pack a long time ago where you had different types of totems. Like you hold this totem, it gives you fire resistance. You hold this, it gives you that. I think the way to do it would be just change your thing from a player type to like a cow or whatever.
Oh yeah,
so like while you're holding this.
Yeah, I didn't even think about doing that. That's a very clever way of doing it. I was thinking of changing all of the entity behaviors, but yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Just changing your player. Yeah, you're suddenly no longer a player. You're something that all mobs don't care about.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that's yeah, I can't remember where I was going to go with that. I had
I got sidetracked there.
Sorry, no, I was going to say
new metal made me think of that.
I like that idea, but I don't like it when people say, "Oh, there should only be like one of them," so make it like use the dragon egg, because we all play on multiplayer servers. Who gets to decide who has it? I think all things should be renewable, and there's loads of ways of getting like making it rare but still renewable. So
what, it costs ancient debris block or something then? I don't know. I was trying to think of something like that. You'd want it to be pure in-game.
Yeah. So maybe it's something that you have to combine with like a nether star or like a
nether star, a totem, and
yeah, like or
a sugar box
like really rare ore that you get from the end that's kind of like ancient debris. So ancient debris is relatively easy to find because you can just go tunneling through the nether. You're never going to fall into the void. Tunneling through end islands, that's a different game.
That it is. Like this.
So yeah, I'll be up for that. And I don't know if either of you have seen or played in the Minecraft Dungeons end update. They're gorgeous. The end looks incredible, and I'd like to see more of that in actual Minecraft, please.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, anyway, moving on to Chagris's second question. Idea for item repair. What if they updated villagers or created a new villager type that you could pay to repair your items? Personally, I think that the XP levels don't make a lot of sense in Minecraft as they currently work. Sorry, Foxy, but might make the morons more helpful. And I'm sure we covered this in a previous podcast as well.
Yes,
somebody said, like, you put a chest down and put your items in a chest and a particular villager would repair them over time or something like that. And yeah, so I'm up for something like that. That'd be good, rather than just using XP.
Yeah.
Speaking of XP, was it something we talked about on the podcast, or have I just invented this? The idea of being able to capture XP orbs in a bottle?
Oh, we've talked about that a lot.
We've talked
Have
about
we?
it a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I must have.
Yeah, we were talking about the faucet like they have in Sky Factory, stuff like that.
Yeah, I know we talked about like having a bucket of XP and stuff like that, but actually, in with the stuff that exists now, like XP items and empty bottles, I think because you can get bottles of XP, it makes sense that you should be able to capture them. I think so. I was wondering if that would be possible to do with an add-on, but I'm not 100% sure that it would be. But I've been thinking about like new game modes and stuff. And what I really like the idea that your XP levels, you start maybe with 10 levels or something, is how many minutes you've got left in the game. Like, so instead of hardcore mode, like you got 10 levels means you've got 10 minutes. So the more things you kill, the more time you get. But as soon as your levels run out, that's it. No longer access to the world. And I that's possible to do. And it's something I'm thinking of doing. But that sort of gave me the idea then that like you could capture XP as well and top up your bar, and I don't know, who knows.
Well, there'd be a way that you could easily I don't say easy, I can do it with command blocks, and if you can do it with command blocks, you can do it with behavior pack, where you could trade in the XP for bottles.
I know
if
that's
you got 5
possible.
levels, that's easy. Yeah That's easy.
And you can do that with the behavior pack easy enough, but it's not really the same as collecting XP in the bottle. If you've got XP orbs lying there, yes, you're giving them to the player, but I want them to go into the bottle. It's possible. It's possible.
You would need to detect the XP around you and then either give yourself bottles like it. Oh God, it's possible. God, it's convoluted, but possible. Yeah.
Because I mean, thinking about the way you were going to do it, you would end up using every single bit of XP the player's got, and I don't want to do that. Although it would be nice to have a workstation you could go to and dispense your XP into, like
trade it out, literally.
Yeah,
that's doable.
But that's really doable. But I want it. So okay, you're going up to a mob farm. You've got 5 levels of XP already. You've got an empty bottle in your hand, and that empty bottle gets filled up with those XP orbs, and you continue to have 5 levels of XP. Anyway, we're massive tangent here. Completely pointless.
Doable. Just see, that's the thing. It's not like
you can't record how many levels of XP you've got and keep it. How is it doable?
You get the XP. It's surely God. I'd have to look into the thing. I know I could do it. I know I could. I know I could do it. It's just I don't have the time to sink into it. Like there's so many things I know I can do. Like I love it when somebody's like, "You can't do that," and I'm like, "Yeah, I can. I know I can." You know. But it's like, how much time do you want to sink into it?
I just don't know. I don't think it's an easy thing to do. Let's put it that way.
Exactly. That's the thing. Yeah. Doable, but I don't think it's easy at all.
Yeah.
But then after you go through the most convoluted way, I mean, it's like one time I tried to build this kelp farm, okay? And what I wanted from this kelp farm was when the furnace got full, that it would move the furnace out of the way and it'd put a composter in, you know? So I did all this elaborate redstone to do all that. And you know what the answer to it was? Why don't I just add like 2 more hoppers and have it go into it when it's full?
Yeah. That makes sense.
But I built this giant redstone monstrosity to detect when the furnace was full, it would pull it over and put a composter in its place. When literally all I had to do was just grab 2 more hoppers and lead it over to a composter.
Yeah. Jeez. Anyway, moving on. Third thing from Chad Grizz says, something I think that might be missing from Minecraft is a skill tree system. What would you think about something based around world save specific achievements, unlocking skill points with different trees? People could then create more custom character within a world save. I like the idea that there were world specific achievements. Absolutely. I think that should be a thing on Bedrock Edition, but it's not. I don't see the point in skill tree systems for Bedrock. In fact, I don't like skill tree systems that much in most games because they generally tend to be overly complicated, and there's always a progression that takes you in a way that you don't really want to go. So like, let's take Elden Ring, for example, because it's a game that's current and I've been playing a lot. When you get levels in that, you put them on specific attributes. And I think that's as basic as skill trees need to be. Whereas if you take something like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, for instance, the skill tree is this massive thing, and it's like a path that you go through, and you've got to unlock things before you can unlock other ones, and it's just complicated, it's convoluted, and I don't enjoy that type of thing, and I think that's way too OP for Minecraft. Being able to if you like level up your character in Minecraft, we do that with tools and armor. I don't think the player needs it as well, because there's nothing actually challenging in Minecraft that you need it for. If the difficulty of Minecraft actually did increase like it's supposed to, and it got harder, then fair enough. But the weapons and armor we've got are already way too OP. What do you think, guys?
I think that the only time that like skill tree type things make sense to me is when you're playing like a faction based character, or something like when you're specifically trying to build a certain type of character, and that just doesn't fit Minecraft. I've never understood the idea of trying to make one way of gaming or one type of gaming fit everything. So I'm not super into that idea, but I agree with you. I do think that the achievements need to be world based. It never has made sense to me that it's not on Bedrock.
Yeah, I agree on that, but they'll never do it with the achievements, because the achievements are an Xbox Live thing. Mm-hmm. But if they did it were like challenges or something like that, yeah.
Oh, well, they call it advancements on Java Edition, don't they? So it's the same thing. Yeah,
same thing. It doesn't give it time. It might be over here. It might not.
You never know.
As far as skill trees for Minecraft, no, I totally don't like that idea. No, and not even like character attribute points. I don't like that. Minecraft feels like it's an open world game. Mm-hmm. Tying that to it suddenly doesn't make it an open world game. Oh, you want to get this skill? Well, you have to go to the end then. And it just, no. Yeah. It feels like it's just a big no for me. But I also disagree with Foxy on one point there. He's talking about how Elden Ring gives you skill points when you level up. That's more attributes, in my opinion.
Well,
you don't actually get no skill points. That's like, but skill points are like skill trees where, okay, so first you get the ability to mine stone, and now you can mine deep slate and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's my bad. Me confusing the two things there. Yeah, basically, I always attribute the skill tree system with your character getting stronger because it knows how to do more things. So it makes basically battling easier, doesn't it? Because you can suddenly do a dodge roll, or you can jump higher, or you can do a new type of slash or whatever. Whereas effectively, all it's doing is just making your character better at killing things.
I mean, that's just differences. Like a skill tree system, though. Like, okay, first you have to mine dirt before you can mine stone. No. And then you have to mine stone before you can mine, obsidian, or you have to mine diamonds before you can mine obsidian. That's what the skill tree in Minecraft would feel like to me.
Well, that exists. It's just in tools instead of the player. So
exactly.
I don't think it needs to change for what it is. I would like to see more variations. I'd like to be able to have different types of bow. I'd like to have a wand or a mage staff and actually cast spells. I think that would be good for Minecraft. I'd like to have more than just 4 different types of swords that maybe have different attributes and things like that. I think that it could be expanded on. But the player itself, I don't think it needs to have anything other than just being a player. I think everything should be to do with what you carry.
Give me a spear that reaches out there 2 extra blocks,
Yeah, like the trident. Why doesn't it have a longer reach? You know? Yeah. Why can't you jab?
I can deal with the less damage as long as I can just hit it from further away.
And I'd really like dodge roll. I'm really into dodge rolling now. I want a dodge roll in Minecraft. Jeez. Moving on. What's Loshi got to say, Jessie?
Loshi says, "Hi, Foxy, Slack, and Jessie. Thanks for another great podcast this week. Many thoughts this week, but wanted to share thoughts on the warden and cities. With the whole... Well, what?
So many... Okay, let's carry on, Jess. It's fine. We're not tired. So sick and tired of the warden and the end. No, it's fine. Carry on.
With the whole possibility of the warden portal and the new dimension, I can't help but think it would be cool if the warden drops a unique item when killed to allow the player to activate the portal. Many factors have me starting to hope for a new dimension, such as rarity of the cities and having a similar command to, say, strongholds. Would love to know your thoughts on this and what you would like to see in a new dimension. From Loshi." Okay. I feel like at this point we have said everything there is to say about the warden. I mean, in the podcast that I have even been on, and I've missed 2 now, I think, in a row, I still have talked about the Warden to death. I would like a new portal. I would like a new dimension. Don't care what's in it. Think it would be cool. And I don't think that the Warden should drop anything because they seem really easy to cheese. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there. I think the Warden having a drop, unless the Warden's actually going to be becoming a challenge, is totally pointless. I do like the idea that we're going to be getting a new dimension. I really hope that actually comes true. But the way things are going, I'm not convinced. I'm really not convinced, specifically now because they've made the Deep Dark a lot more common on the Bedrock Edition betas. There's loads more of them and a lot closer. And there's no way of finding them other than just digging. So I really do think that's the direction they're going in, is just, hey, you've stumbled across an ancient city / Deep Dark. And I think that's it. I'm really starting to believe now we're not going to see anything else from them. In which case, that makes me very, very sad. But we'll see. Let's hope that I'm wrong. What about you, Slack?
Sad Slack noises. I agree. No, I think you both summed it up. I don't think I can add anything to this. Nothing.
Fair enough.
All right.
No, let's move on.
In that case, Loshi also says, me again, further to my previous question, as I continue to listen to this week, I agree with the issue of finding the cities, but again, I think this type of item, like Eyes of Ender, could also be being held back to avoid confirming spoiling a new dimension, or maybe too much wishful thinking on my part. There we go.
Oh, sorry, Jessie. Yeah, I mean, I want to say yes. I want to agree with all those things, but it's been a long time and there's been no sign of it, other than the only thing I can keep coming back to is King B-Dog saying what are they called? Reinforced Deep Splate is doing the job or doing its job well or something like that, but it doesn't do anything. So yeah, maybe that's for 1.21. Maybe this is just a prelude to that. Who knows? Or 1.20 even. Who knows? But something just feels really off with the whole thing at the minute. It feels really stale and stagnant, and I don't know if that is them holding back, because if they are, then massive tease, but why at this point when they're rolling out snapshots? That we should really be, I mean, if they're putting in a whole new dimension, that's going to need a lot of testing. It's going to need a lot of player testing, a lot of player feedback, and they're running out of time to do that.
Well, my thought is, have they ever just sprung anything on us? Has that ever happened in Bedrock's or even Minecraft's existence so far? Has something just completely been just thrown out without any testing?
Did the end dimension come out of nowhere?
Yeah, the Elytra, and then the ability to fly with Elytra just popped in. That was like in a random hotfix one as well. The ability to just fly with Elytra using rockets, just there you go. So that sort of thing was. I don't know about the end dimensions. Like, I can't remember a time where the end didn't exist.
I can't remember neither. So I feel like the Warden stuff. This is the best way that I can explain it. Like, we were sitting here. I was sitting here the other day editing, and this season of Truly Bedrock, it's caves and cliffs, right? Yeah. That's a new thing. Like, nobody's really doing much with caves and cliffs, because we did last season in an experimental version where we had access to all those blocks already. So it's like, it just feels like all that stuff that was new, we just kind of went bleh with. It's kind of like, we've heard so much about the Warden and the ancient cities now, we're just like, bleh, bleh.
Yeah, and when it actually does come into the game, we're just going to feel exactly the same. Oh, well, we've beaten this to death over the last 2 years. I can't be bothered. There needs to be something new. They need to announce something new. Now, it is very common that during snapshots, they do go, hey, we're going to add this. Like, go back to, again, the Caves and Cliffs part 1. All of a sudden, they went, hey, look, copper veins. Oh, wow, okay, that's good. Hey, lightning, I can't remember, but they added in stuff that wasn't during the Minecraft live event, and I think both of those two things were, but you know what I mean. There were things that surprised us throughout that process, but nothing really game breaking. I think like the ability to put copper back a few states and then use honey and wax to like coat it and things maybe were added in during that process, but adding in a whole new dimension and a way to get there at this stage just feels like it's a bit late for that. So, yeah.
Unless it's just been kept secret this whole time. It's just,
yeah. Maybe. But why?
For surprise.
But why?
Surprise?
But why?
Happy birthday!
Surprise is great as long as you've got plenty of time for people to market that surprise. If you don't, the surprise in the player isn't going to get new sales of the game. People buy the game when they're expecting to have something amazing, and you've got YouTubers talking about it left, right, and centre. So holding it out.
The problem is we've talked about it to the point now we're sick of it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay. What's Chewbacca got to say, Slack?
Chewbacca's like.
Not that Chewbacca. The one that's written as a question.
Okay. Right. What is the plan when 1.19 comes out? I saw something about June. Are you going to start a new season or continue this one?
Oh, hang on a minute. We just got a message from Jessiie saying Evie's awake. She might have to dip out. So if you don't hear Jessiie for the rest of this podcast, you know why. Hopefully we will. We'll see.
Yeah, she's up and crying. So I feel like this is me having to say goodbye because there she is. She's mad.
Well, we're nearly there anyway, Jessiie. So wonderful to have you here. Have a lovely day, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Bye,
guys. Don't fall in the hole in your floor. Don't
forget to save your audio and send it to me.
Oh, yeah. Doing that right now.
Close everything. Click.
Yeah. Jeez. Right. Okay. Slack. Well, it's just me and you then. How much detail do we want to go into on Truly Bedrock plans? I mean, we're not really supposed to share this sort of stuff, are we?
I don't even think we've decided internally yet, have we?
I don't think we've really discussed it all that much, have we? To be perfectly honest with you.
Well, so we're just speculating at this point in time. I mean,
yeah,
I don't see the reason for a reset.
No, I think resetting, personally, my personal opinions that don't reflect any of the opinions of the other TB members, already discussions that we've had, my personal opinion is doing a reset now would be a disaster. And I think most people, not just on TB, but other popular SMPs that had a short season who also said during their live stream before season 9 came out that they absolutely despised having a short season. I think the feeling is very I don't
want another short one. Like, no. I enjoyed season 0, and the one we just did, season 3, was a refresher. But I don't want another one back to back. I don't want to see another one for at least 3 or 4 seasons, you know?
No. Season 0 works because it was a small player base and we had fun telling stories and getting to know each other, and we were really close. But it was more like playing a different type of Minecraft rather than Minecraft Survival, which made it a unique experience. Season 3 just it didn't feel right for a lot of people.
It felt rushed. Like if we were to talk about a reset right now, like, I'd have no motivation to do any more TB. No,
not for a while. I think I'd be like, I'll join you guys sort of halfway through the season, maybe. Yeah, I got other things to do.
Yeah, no, because I got too many projects I'm just getting started on. I just went through a burnout after I had COVID.
Yeah,
and just kind of getting back into the flow. And now, if like we brought it up in a meeting and like half the people were like reset, I'd be like, yeah, this can go back burner for a while. I'm just
Do you know what I'd be tempted to do rather than reset is I did this with RT when they dropped the RTX beta. I took a download of Truly Bedrock it was Minecraft 1.15, wasn't it, RTX? And I did like a couple of days survival away from the rest of the stuff, so that it was, still Truly Bedrock, but I was starting fresh, if you like. And I think I might do this for when 1.19 drops, assuming that we don't reset. Is just move somewhere else and just start from the beginning, just for a few episodes to just enjoy that starter experience again in a different update and see if it makes any difference, and then just come back to my base and continue from there, because there's really no point, is there?
I don't know if I could do that. I'd like to try, but I don't know if I could, because one, okay, that means, all right, you're going to take everything out of your ender chest. You're going to have to completely move. 2, I haven't died this season, so that kind of puts that out.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's enough changing in the world in 1.19 to really warrant that, other than I would be nice to go far away to try and find some ancient cities just to see them, and then to gather a bunch of allays to come back and sell to everyone. But other than that, I don't really see any need to. There's nothing groundbreaking or different. Like in 1.17, we could go mining and we found copper. That was new and interesting. But
this doesn't. No, 1.19 doesn't bring nothing new on World Gen. So what's the point?
Mangrove biomes, Slack.
Look, we don't even have a witch hut within 4,000 blocks of spawn already. So what? I don't even think we have a swamp. So what's the point in that?
No. Well, they don't. They're not. I know people seem to think that the mangrove biome is the swamp update, but I keep telling you, it's not a swamp. I know it looks swampy because it's got water and it's got mangrove trees, but they're not attached to swamps. They're not called swamps. They don't even have swamp listed in their biome attributes anywhere, and they will just generate completely separately as a completely unique biome in warm environments. They're not attached to swamps. It's not like, a lot of biomes,
they've got like mud in them. You're putting toilet water in them. It's a swamp.
Yeah, I know it looks like one, but it's not actually a swamp. So
I don't care what the game code says. It's a swamp.
Well, okay, fair enough. Right, okay.
Take you down to Louisiana, go hunt you a gator, and you're going to see what a swamp looks like. And oh my goodness, they've nailed it in this update.
I know it's like a swamp, but it's not the Minecraft swamp. They're not connected. Okay, geez. Moving on to our last question. I can't believe it's our last question. Plot.
I know, I was trying to argue with you there to extend the time, and you're just like, no.
I'm thinking this is going to be a nice, quick, and easy one to edit, so rushing through.
Oh, you mean it's only going to be an hour because we have 30-minute segment there you have to cut out, right?
Yeah, gotcha. Pretty much. Right, question, but I bet Foxy actually reads it in the feedback section anyway. Wow. Thanks, Plot. I didn't. I saved it till last. In the Bedrock beta, or in the latest Bedrock beta /preview, you can use Game Mode 6 to enter Spectator Mode. It's a bit buggy and hasn't been officially announced by Modian. So is Spectator Mode coming to Bedrock? We've already covered it, Blood. You're too late. Unfortunately, that's the end of today's set. I suppose we could have a little bit more of a chat about Spectator Mode before we go. But yes, it will come to Bedrock Edition, I am sure. I would be absolutely amazed if they turn around and go, actually, no, we're not going to do this. If they go, it's too broken or it's too hard or something else comes along, I would be absolutely amazed. I think it's definitely going to be there. I don't think it's going to be official anytime soon. I wouldn't be surprised if the next few iterations of it come out in experimental mode rather than actually being in the main game. I'm pretty sure that was an oversight. I think that was probably an accident because it's the sort of thing that needs to be an experimental because it's experimental. It's not finished yet. But I don't know, but I'm pretty 100%, 99.9% sure it's going to be in the game, Slack.
Oh, I totally agree with you there, especially just on the point of, for people making maps and doing things like that. Oh, did I get this right? Did I get that right? Yeah, I think for the marketplace standpoint, it'll definitely be a thing in the future. I think it's one of those things that we've known would eventually happen. It's just waiting. It's like we knew mob despawning was going to happen eventually. We knew it. But, it just took forever. With some of these changes we know are going to happen. We knew the cheaty furnace was eventually going to go away. As much as you don't want to admit it, you knew it was going to go away, Foxy. It doesn't matter how much you love it. You knew it was a bug, Yeah. So it's like Spectator. I'd say it's like 99% sure that it's eventually going to be a permanent thing. Well, but like you said, I don't think it was meant to slip out yet and not be behind an experimental tag. Yeah.
Well, let's think about this from a marketplace point of view. If the featured servers on Bedrock Edition and literally all Java servers all use all use Spectator Mode when you finished a game or a match or even just to fly you around the world to like as a camera to like on Java, if you start a game of what's it called, is Death Run or something like that at the beginning, you're teleported around to actually watch the course or view the course before the game starts, which is a really nice, clever, fancy thing to do. And it wouldn't be possible without Spectator Mode because you would bang into blocks and you'd be able to interact with everything. And then at the end, when you've finished your round, you go into Spectator Mode. Not only can you fly around and see what everyone else is doing, but you can also teleport to other people's from their point of view. And that's something I try to replicate with my Spectator Mode add-on. And it kind of works, but it's buggy. It's not ideal. You can't clip through blocks, and there's loads of features missing from it because you can still interact with everybody, even though there's like loads of sort of things I put in place to try and stop that being possible. like filling the inventory with blank items and giving them like the weakness 1,000 or whatever it was. They're still a player. They still can fiddle with stuff, which is not ideal.
They can still stand in front of you and block you.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas actual spectator mode is going to open up things massively for marketplace maps and stuff. Actually be able to buy a marketplace map that had a renewable like game mode, or like at the end you could actually spectate and watch what's going on rather than just being sat back at the spawn being bored. It just makes everything a lot more fun. And for the featured servers on Bedrock, spectator mode exists, but they're not actually running on Bedrock Edition's engine. They're running on something called PocketMine, which is a third-party tool that uses Bedrock, kind of, sort of, but also allows people to add in their own stuff. So those featured servers that you see in your servers list are not actually running on actual Bedrock Edition, believe it or not. They're running on this like false version of it that kind of sort of works. And that spectator mode exists on that.
It's funny how that becomes a partnered server, though, right?
Yeah. Well, it was the only way of doing it, because that was before Mojang actually released any server stuff.
I know, but still, like, they know, that's your partnered servers. These are your approved servers, people using, how do I say that, janky versions of the game that's not the real game.
Yeah. So before servers came out, I used to get a lot of people messaging me saying, well, you know, you can have servers because there's this thing called PocketMine, and PocketMine did exist. It was almost impossible to actually get it to work because it was some sort of really weirdly designed thing it needed to run on, but it didn't have any world generation in it. It didn't have any survival stuff in it. It was literally just your player in whichever world that you had loaded, and they could interact and move around like a player. But you could add in plugins to it if there any existed, and it was easier to develop for because it was written in a different programming language to what Minecraft's written in. So it's kind of almost like an emulation layer, but not quite. So yeah, it'd be really, really nice for spectator mode to actually come to Bedrock, because it's going to make life loads better for marketplace stuff and for content creators. But what is quite sad, Slack, is that, and you're going to hate this, you're going to absolutely hate this, is that it means potentially that AFK accounts will go away. Because you look at any other SMP stuff on Java, they use their spectator account to do their camera stuff, but they can't use those spectator accounts at farms because mobs won't spawn at them. So they have to do their own AFK in. So while you've got AFK Lizard over at your mob farm and you're doing something else, you're getting drops while actually playing. Whereas if we got an actual spectator mode, AFK Lizard is going to be locked in spectator mode. Your farm ain't going to be running.
That's fine.
Yeah, we're going to have to play actual Minecraft. It will all be on us.
Yeah, it don't bother me at all. I can AFK just as many hours as DB. I just do it on a different account while I'm playing a different game.
Well, yes. Yeah, obviously you can still AFK, but I'm just saying that's going to be a big change for us on TB, because we're so used to just popping our AFK account over at a farm and running that while we're playing, aren't we?
Well, I mean, at this point in time, the AFK accounts, the spectator mode, still has mob spawning, so I'm not too worried about it at this point in time.
Exactly. Right now it works, but in the future it probably won't. Anyway.
I mean,
oh, go on.
No, I was going to say, okay, so are we going to tag all camera accounts then as spectator accounts? Like, are you going to put Big Chicken and everyone else as spectator accounts?
Oh, that's a good question, because they're players.
Or are we allowed AFK accounts, and are we allowed camera accounts? Mm-hmm.
Oh, I say that's really tricky. That's a conversation we'll have to have. Jeez, yeah. If I can't actually see Big Chicken and Mr. Onion, how am I going to do any videos with them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez, Slack. Do you know what? That's probably going to mean that Big Chicken and Mr. Onion will only be able to feature in world downloads rather than on the actual server.
I'll be able to hear them but never see them.
At least there's plenty of Mr. Barbecues kicking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, unfortunately, that is the end of today's questions. If you would like to leave us a question, please make sure you send an email to theminecraftupdatepod@gmail.com. Don't forget to put question in your subject line so we know it's a question, or, comment and Discord and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
jeez.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, unfortunately, we are now cruising towards the end of today's podcast. All we have left to do is tell you about when we're going to be online, showing you all of our favourite stuff. I'm going to be putting out a video at some point this week. I would imagine I'm going to be streaming on Thursday as normal, and hopefully next week as normal as well. Although next week I do have my eldest son Jack being with me, so things might be a little bit off for at least another week for me. Jessie has written that she will have videos once a week, although we know she's struggling at the moment, and hopefully she'll be streaming on Mondays and Wednesdays again. Play that by ear. Just keep checking out Jessie's Discord for announcements and stuff on that, because she's having a bit of trouble at the moment. And Slack, I'm assuming that yours hasn't changed.
No, 2 videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. As far as streams go, I got to work a schedule, but my problem in the past is once I get on a schedule, I want to stream every day, and I just know that's not healthy for me. I know it's not healthy.
No.
So I need to figure out a balance of, hey, I'll stream this day, and this day at this time.
What are you doing while Jen's there? Are you going to stream still?
Well, I've got my computer set up. She's got her computer set up, so we can still do streams and stuff like that. But I mean, literally, like if I were to swing this camera around it, you can see I've been building the computer over there. Like there's a monitor and everything.
Oh wow, okay.
I got Stream Deck and everything. Like today, when we're done with this, first thing I got to do is tear all this apart and build that computer and do all this. Yeah, so.
Nice. Well, Slack, you know what's going to happen this afternoon, don't you? After we finish this.
Oh, there'll be a big update, and we're going to need to do an emergency recording to add to this. Yeah.
There'll be a big update with a new dimension. And a way of
if there's a new update with a new dimension, we're going to have to be like, well, this podcast is continuing on. Here we go. I mean, I still got time later today if we have to do an update to this. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, if not, we'll see you all in the next one. Thank you all very much for listening. Goodbye. Oh, jeez.